Most people think the only way to get rid of a massive slab of concrete, or a stubborn boulder, is to rent a deafening, bone-shaking jackhammer that leaves your arms feeling like jelly for a week. But there is actually a much quieter, almost surgical way to handle these heavy-duty projects. This stuff is essentially a chemical demolition agent that does all the heavy lifting while you just stand back and watch. It is pretty wild when you think about it. You are basically turning a bucket of powder into a force of nature that exerts 18,000 psi of pressure. That is enough to crack through reinforced concrete without making a single sound or causing those annoying vibrations that usually rattle the neighbor's windows. The process is straightforward enough that anyone with a drill can handle it. You just map out your holes, mix the powder with water, and pour it in. It is a three-step dance: drill, mix, and pour. What stands out is how much control this gives you. Instead of just smashing everything in sight, you can actually guide where the cracks go based on your drilling pattern. It is almost like being a sculptor, just with a much more destructive end goal. Now, this specific version is designed for colder environments, specifically between 23 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit, so you have to be mindful of the weather before you start mixing. If you try to use it in the middle of a heat wave, you might run into some issues with how it sets. The bucket itself is just a standard plastic container, nothing fancy, but it holds enough to fill about 35 linear feet of holes, which is plenty for most backyard projects or small excavation tasks. One thing to keep in mind is that this is not an instant fix. You are not going to see the concrete shatter the second you pour it in. It takes time for that expansive pressure to build up, so patience is definitely part of the deal. It is not for someone who needs the job done in 10 minutes flat. Also, you really need to be precise with your hole spacing and diameter. If you get lazy with the drill, the results just won't be as clean. It is a bit of a learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it is hard to go back to the old-school, noisy methods. It is a clever, low-impact solution for when you want to get the job done without turning your property into a construction zone. If you have a project that requires precision and silence, this is a solid way to go.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.